Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Appalachian Prospecting. I'm your host Wayne Thornton. I've been digging and scratching these brooks for over 40 years, 40 plus I think now. Hey, today we got a good one today. You want to pop up your popcorn, get your favorite beverage or hippie hay, whatever you want. Sit back and watch this one. This one's going to be good. I have a good friend of mine, a geologist out of North Bennington, Vermont, known as Jeff Slade, and if anybody in the gold mining community does not know him, you need to get to know him. He has been studying gold as long or a little bit longer than me, or we're right there neck and neck. But one of the problems that I had was I was studying geology, but I didn't have a direction. You know, I mean, and geology is kind of tough to do. That's why a lot of people don't like to do it. And I get that. But when you get somebody after you've kind of looked and looked and looked and worked and worked and worked, and then they get your head screwed on straight, there's the direction you need to go. And that's what Jeff did to me. He kind of gradually got my head screwed on straight and said, hey Wayne, this is the stuff that we need to look for. This is where we're going to go do our explorations. And this is why in the next part of this video, we're at my house and we are going through spots and areas that we're going to be working on this summer. So that's a lot of fun too. I'm going to get a lot of that on video, so stay tuned for that, guys. Yeah. See, the fun part about our channel is a lot of our stuff is gold related, even though you're like, well, sawmills aren't. Well, yes, they are. I need the cribbing. And loaders. No, it's not. Yes, it is. You guys have no idea what I'm up to, but I am opening up a small open pit mine, cleaning out what I need to do, and then resetting it for a new area to put logs and lumber. Anyways, for entertainment purposes only, this is not a true mine. It's just something that we're doing. Anyways, so without further ado, oh yeah, guys, I keep forgetting. Hey, you gonna get over there and win Wayne's Gold? Hit 1,000 subscribers, you win. I'm gonna put everybody in every time we go down through. So right now we're creeping up on over 700 subscribers. So the next time it comes around, we're gonna give another one away at 800. I give a nugget away. We've had the Northeast Prospector and Kathy Huntington. They're both winners. Another thing I do want to bring up too is the American Gold. Great place to get your pay dirt from. He treats you right, you get what you're supposed to get. Alright? So anyways, don't forget to win Wayne's Gold. I've got the crusher all set up. Our next video is how I'm setting up a little portable crusher so I can start crushing all this stuff that we had talked about a while back. And it's been a few weeks after what I said. I thought I was going to be able to get it done between Thanksgiving and Christmas. It didn't work out. I was pretty busy. So now, boom, I had the time today. I put it together. This will be in the next video. But without further ado, let's get to Jeffery Slade and what we do, us geologists and understudy people like me, what we do. And it's going to be plotted, so here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. Let's get over to Jeff and me. Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Appalachian Prospecting. I'm your host and prospector, Wayne Thornton. Been digging and scratching in the brooks for over 40 years. Today we got a special guest. And anybody in the gold mining community must know who this is. This is Jeffery Slade. He is a geologist out of North Bennington. And he is a very, very good friend of mine. And we come up and get together and we do mapping, as you can see. Jeff, you want to throw them up a little something? We use different atlases. He's got all kinds of stuff on here that we map stuff. And then we try to get a time when we're going to go do it, certain times of the year. But he also brought some really cool specimen rocks with him today. And I can't wait to get into this conversation. So you know what we're going to do? I'm going to shut my mouth and we're going to get right to Jeff.
So, you know, looking at the geology and the geology maps that are online, sometimes it's daunting. Geologists use place names for specific geologic formations, and it gets difficult, you know, unless you know what is an example. The Moortown Formation, that's a geologic formation that is under a lot of the gold-bearing area in Vermont. Ammonoosuc Volcanics, Cheshire Formation, you know, those names geologists use to apply to a group of rocks. So yeah, there's almost a hierarchy of the geology formations, the rock types, and then that you need to know, and then minerals that are part of the rocks. So what I thought I would do is I brought along, to show to Wayne, the first rock that I want to talk about is, it's actually from over in New York. And it is, I'll let Wayne take a look at it, see what he thinks it is, okay? And one of the things, observation skills are an important part of prospecting, being a geologist. It's almost like detective work. So, when you look at this, this is actually a piece I use when I taught. I use this piece because there's a lot going on here, and it's a pretty plain looking rock. Okay, so the first thing Wayne's picking out is he's picking these out. So that's something if you flip it up.
Some trap valleys, and we got a lot of.
Yeah, there's a bunch of these on it. So he's looking at those.
Get you a little closer.
There's little dots, little
dots,
oxidized dots on the side.
This has got some girth to it too, guys. This isn't light.
And what Wayne picked out, and again, first of all, what is this? What kind of rock do you think it is, if you had to guess?
I'm going to throw out there like a granitite.
No.
No. Okay. See.
So it's actually probably be considered as a sedimentary rock.
Sedimentary rock. Champlain thrust line.
It's on the New York side. This came from over Moores, New York.
Okay.
So around the Adirondack Mountains. The Adirondack Mountains are Precambrian. They're basement rocks. Those are the oldest rocks, probably some of them that are exposed. The core of the Green Mountains, Precambrian as well. You're talking rocks that are, billion years old. 1.2, 1.4 billion with a B years old. Those are the oldest rocks. So they've been around for a long time. And those were mountains that were worn down.
Grenville sequence.
This
is Grenville.
Nope.
No?
It's debatable, but this sits on those rocks, and it goes all the way around. The outcrops of this go all the way around. You can find them around the edge of that Adirondack basement complex dome. Okay?
Okay.
So you're looking at something that's probably 650 million years old. It's the Potsdam Formation. Okay, so unless you know what the Potsdam, that's the place name for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the Potsdam, but it's a sandstone. It's a quartzitic. It's a quartzitic sandstone. Right?
Quartzitic. Okay.
So it's most of it's quartz. So the mineral that's there is quartz. The rock type, it's a sandstone.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can see this. That's a bed. All right, bedded rock, and it probably sat nice and flat. Okay. Now, some of the features that are in here, and this is where the detective thing comes in, why you need to look close at stuff, is if you look at this on the side, all right, it's got wavy ripples in it.
Right here, guys.
Okay, so those are what are called longitudinal ripples. Those are ripple marks. Okay, from the water running across it. It was probably in a lake or pond or whatever. It was in a giant lake or whatever. This could have been a beach. All right. So, like when you go to swim someplace and you look on the bottom of your lake, you'll see in the bottom if there's a little bit of current, you'll find those ripple marks.
Yeah.
So these are longitudinal. They're straight. You flip this over on the other side, and again, you've got there's smaller riffles.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's little deep riffles in here.
So these are Barcan, or they've got a different pattern to them. So there's two different types of environment that those show.
Wow.
So not only that, we've got there's a whole series of holes in here. They're little holes. If you look.
Yep.
And they've got iron oxide around them. All right?
Oh yeah.
Those are pseudo fossils. They're not really a fossil, but those are wormholes. Those are worm burrows. that have been, probably the worm that would have been back there is called Scolithus. So the Scolithus worm burrows. And again,
Yeah.
he was hanging out there. All right.
That is amazing.
So while you're at the brook, you need to be looking at rocks. Okay, and I know a lot of people do, but again, this is one rock, and it tells a story.
Yep.
Okay. So next one I brought with me.
Tell me that shit's not awesome.
Next one I brought with me. So you get all kinds of folks are always get all excited over when they see anything gold colored, okay, in rocks. And they get all excited over quartz veins, whatever. So if you look at this is a piece of quartz, all right, and it's got something gold in it, okay?
Yep.
So it's quartz vein, gold, it's got iron oxide running through it, it's got more little veinlets running through it, whatever. So mineral identification requires a little bit more than just color. Okay, just because something's gold or you think of something as being a certain color, you know, fluorite is a good mineral example of it. You know, most people think of fluorite as purple. Fluorite can be other colors besides that. Green, could be light green, you know, something that's gold is not always gold. Okay?
True.
Right?
True. 100%
And
correct.
fool's gold, pyrite is a good example. And the other thing that you get is where you have sulfide minerals, and that's what we've got here. You know, pyrite, chalcopyrite, pyrrhotite. Those are all sulfides. A lot of times you don't just get one in a rock. You don't get just pyrite. Yeah, you can get pyrite cubes, but you know when you get these vein systems like that, they have a lot of different stuff in them. They've got maybe all 3 or 4 of those sulfide minerals in there together, and this one does. This one's got pyrrhotite in it. Pyrrhotite is probably what's causing the leach out. Right? Pyrrhotite's not real stable in the environment, so you know when you see big rusty messes, all right, like you know rock outcrops, or if you're in a quarry someplace and it's bleeding, you know, red out of it, it's probably pyrrhotite and arsenopyrite that are coming apart. Pyrite's pretty stable. Okay, so you do get like pyrite cubes in a lot of the schists and things, like especially up around the WAM. If you've been to the Wild Amanuensis there at Twin River, and you run a dredge there, or even you know run your sluice box in there, you know you'll come up with perfect little cubes sometimes, or cubes that are oxidized on the outside of pyrite. Chalcopyrite tends to be a little bit more coppery. It's got a little bit more of a copper color, and if you look in here, or bronzy color, you know, you can see pieces of that.
Yeah.
Probably not going to pick it up that well in the.
Probably try to get a little closer, see if you guys can see it.
So again,
Yeah,
the
kind of
more-
hard.
The more bronzy colored stuff
See
tends
it.
to be chalcopyrite. One of the things I like to do with stuff is I like to slice it. Okay, so this has been cut on a diamond saw blade, lap saw. Cut it, and what's interesting is right in the middle. Again, take a look at the shape of that right there. If you can see it, you know that gold one right in the middle. Okay, if you look at the shape, it's cubic. So the mineral shape gives you more ID information. Pyrite is going to form cubes.
Yes.
Okay, so you know when you see that, it's gold. It's not a piece of gold. That's you know a piece of pyrite.
I got to ask you a quick question, Jeff, before we get away from that. What causes these to get square? I've been asked this 100 times by you guys, so here we go.
It's the way the atomic. You've got a compound, okay, and it's the atomic arrangement, the way that they want to be aligned or formed. Okay, so quartz has its own special crystal. They're crystal habits. And if you go on, like I use Mindat, when anybody, if you've seen me online, somebody put something up, ask me what it is. Usually I put the reference to whatever I think it is on Mindat. Mindat shows you pictures of the different, pieces of pyrite. It'll give you some known locations. Gives you all like the hardness of it. So again, Mohs hardness is important. Now you've got a hardness from 1 to 10. We'll talk about that. I got another one I'll pull out and I'll show you. So, don't just look at it and think color. If you're going to get online and ask somebody, well, it's got, I can scratch it with a nail. I can scratch it with a penny. It's magnetic. It has a metallic luster. So it's not just, you need to look at those things, okay, and consider those when you're looking at mineral identification. What the hell, what do you think that is? Post it up, oh shit, look, I got all kinds of gold in there. Well, no you don't. Okay, so,
no, you don't. It's still quite a specimen to see that amount, right? I mean, I don't know if the camera's doing it any justice, but wow. All right.
So what this, I brought this home. Pyrrhotite is causing a lot of problems in concrete in Massachusetts and Connecticut. So, if you get online and plug in crumbling foundations, Massachusetts or whatever, you're going to see
pretty serious.
It's a huge deal. I mean, you got thousands of houses where the concrete that was used had pyrrhotite in it. Okay, and pyrrhotite, guess what it's doing? It's reacting with the concrete paste. The stuff's falling apart. Somebody's house the whole foundation's gone. So they're having to jack them up and have to redo them.
Wow.
So, guess what I was doing with this? This came out of a quarry down there. Okay, so they're asking me, they ran into this thing. Is there pyrrhotite there?
Yeah.
Might be. Okay, so. But, in the same thing, when you see this, all right, and you're out looking for gold, pay attention to it. Because, yes, gold can be associated with this.
It's an indicator.
Okay?
It really is.
So, when you see the sulfide minerals, and you see the quartz, and you see pyrrhotite, you better be looking for other things in there. Okay? And that's gold and, maybe silver or, platinum's not probably going to show up in that type of environment, but molybdenite might be here, things like that. So.
All right, so let's move on to the next one, Jeff.
All right,
yeah, pretty good.
So I'm going to pick up 3 of them.
Okay.
Anybody that have been out with me on a couple of the field trips there last year, or listened to me talk at all before this, obviously, I'm a Vermont prospector as well. I like to chase certain areas. When I'm doing my prospecting, one of the things I'm looking for is the presence of serpentine, okay? Or, in Vermont, you may see on geologic maps ultramafic rocks, serpentinite, dunite. Those are rocks that were derived from the upper mantle of the earth. And it's like, what the hell are they doing on the surface now in bedrock? So tectonics, faulting, deep faulting, subduction, all those things are going on to get the serpentine on the surface. And if you do any kind of research with serpentine, what typically can be associated with them is platinum group minerals, with platinum group metals, sometimes gold. So, if you've got serpentine close by, you kind of need to know where those things are. And you need to look at, if there's serpentine bedrock outcrops in the drainages where you've got rivers running through that you're looking for placers, you kind of need to pay attention to where those things are. So, and that's, actually we did some of that today.
Yeah, it's hard to do, guys, but once you get it and you've been doing it, and you got somebody highly trained like him that can, kind of get your head screwed on straight, you start to learn it.
So, Mohs hardness. Mohs hardness goes from 1 to 10. Diamond, which you probably not, who knows, you might find some in some of the tills, like northern New York and southern Ontario, Quebec, they found some, but
Did that get scraped from Royal Mountain?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that's kind of a volcanic-y area up in Quebec.
Yeah, I mean, again, diamonds are pretty special. I mean, that's you've got to tap into they're special. It's a kimberlite. There's kimberlites or some things that look like kimberlites over White River Junction area, the other side of the river there. I think it's Twin States Quarry, maybe. And over the sluiceway that comes out of one of the dams over there has got some kimberlite dikes in it.
Okay.
But that's an aside. So diamond's number 10. That's the hardest thing. I mean, if you're going to cut other rocks,
right,
you have a diamond saw.
A diamond saw, which I have.
And the other thing is, if you can't afford the diamond, the next jump down is corundum. So corundum is like a number 9 or whatever. On the Mohs hardness. Quartz is number 7.
Oh wow!
Okay,
quartz
so
is that high.
Quartz is pretty hard. That quartzite is going to be 6.5, 7 hardness maybe. The quartz is 7.
Yeah, pretty hard stuff.
On the bottom of the scale is talc. So that's a piece of foliated talc. That's out of one of the Vermont mines before they shut them down because of asbestos scare and different stuff.
Look at how shiny this stuff is.
That was being ground up for talcum powder. They put it like it's a carrier for perfumes.
I mean, even when you feel it, it feels like that powdery stuff back in the day that your parents would put on you, that talc. It is really weird.
So, again, when you look at this, you're going to be able to scratch it all day long. You can scratch it with your fingernail. All right, so I don't know what your fingernail might be, like 3 or 4 or something like that on Mohs hardness. You could scratch it with a piece of steel or a nail, which is probably 6 or 6, I think, somewhere in there, 5, 6. The piece of quartz, if you got a piece of quartz, that'd scratch it. So again, for mineral ID, one of the things is it's super soft. All right, it's foliated. Okay, so it has. If I was to break that, it breaks along those foliations or lines.
Right.
All right. It's greasy, right?
Yeah.
It's got that. So
right.
Again, that's another characteristic that you need to look at.
Kind of like kale and clay.
Yeah, kind of that. So what I did here is these are all rocks that are also associated with that serpentine or ultramafic rocks in Vermont. And you're probably not going to see talc in the brooks as a boulder because it's so soft. It's not, it falls off, it goes in the brook. That's not going to make it, 20 feet down the river.
It'll just crush right up.
So that goes. But
throwing stuff at you, Jeff.
If you look at this on the edge of it, you can see what it's in. I mean, that's probably in some type of serpentine or serpentinized something or other, black rock.
Here, see the difference compared to right here. Yeah.
Along with, in the ultramafic bodies, you get stuff like this. And this one, it's not, I apologize, this is not the greatest sample, but I was out behind my barn looking for stuff today. So, this is a piece of actinolite, that's the mineral, schist. So it's a schistose rock, okay? And there's probably some talc in with it. This one you are going to see in some of the you'll find that in your placers when you get closer. You're like again, I'm trying to think of areas. Maybe up like the higher end of Broad Brook, like at the Five Corners. Middle Brook, I can remember seeing pieces of this coming out of it, which is right there. But if you look at what's right across the street, it's the Serpentine. So you're close. You know,
Yeah.
you need to be. So again, where you see these gives you an indication from the brook where there might be bedrock that's got the serpentines in it. So you'll see like the actinolite schists or the amphibolites. They'll have these big, long, almost like needle-like, square needle-like minerals.
Yes.
And they'll be all like crisscross.
I have one.
Okay, and you know it's typically they're black. Okay, actinolite can be black, can be green, but again, the crystal shape. If you look at this, they're needles. Okay, and look at that. Wayne has got a piece of it. So again, these are. If you look at that rock, it's a schist that's got the actinolite in it.
Get you up closer.
Okay.
Jeff, can you grab a pen and get right up here and show the people what you're... That way we can get closer to it. There you go. See all them lines, guys? He's going to point
So you
out.
see these? You know, people ask me what these little lines are in here. And you'll find rocks that are just, you know, 100, you know, pretty much almost 100% of that composed. And they're all overlaid on top of each other. A lot of times they'll have white in between them, like calcite or something will be with it.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see that a lot. You know, White River, Black River, Broad Brook, Buffalo, some Upper Buffalo's got it in it. Williams River, you know, any place where you're close to those serpentines.
I was with Jeff one day. We were prospecting, and he found probably one of the biggest pieces, like he said, he's ever found. And with that, he picked up these rocks. So we're going to let Jeff explain what these puppies are. Okay, Sam, I'm trying to get up close. Okay. He had one of them. What was that little gold box that you had? A Falcon or something? Falcon. And he tapped that, these guys, and it was positive. And it went off. I mean, I was standing right there when he did it. So I know what this is, but can you explain, you know, what some of these black minerals in there are? See all that black stuff? Then you've got all kinds of iron. So we'll let Jeff talk about that, but we want to talk about this.
So the one last piece is that, again, with the serpentine, and you know, if you're familiar with like Rochester, Vermont area, you have the Verdi. It's called the Verdi Antique. They call it a marble, but it's actually serpentine. And they use that for, like, again, you'll see it on some of the buildings in Vermont.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a greenish colored, you know, rock that's been slabbed, and it's a serpentinite. And I mean, it's beautiful. It's got so those serpentine bodies. The main core of them might be serpentine, but as you go out and you hit the contact with the surrounding rock, you know, on the very outside, you're probably going to see the talc. You're going to see, you know, this actinolite, talc actinolite schists, some amphibolites. This is steatite, which is soapstone. Again, that's another, you know, they cut this. Again, that's a block that was cut. And they use that for bed warmers. You know, they cut these things, they heat it up. The stuff keeps, you know, warms up really nice. At night, on a cold night, you'd slide that into your bed, or you know, they used it for trivets in your kitchen. They did soapstone stoves. There's an outfit from down in Virginia, Albemarle, Virginia, that there's actually soapstone stoves. I mean, they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Soapstone countertops.
Yep.
Soapstone sinks. So again, if you were like, I can remember, I think the Castleton chemistry lab, the sinks, I think originally had soapstone in them. So again, that's ultramafic rock.
Yep.
Okay? So enough of that. Wayne wants me to look at these. I gotta put my glasses on.
Yep. You looked at them a few years ago and you played with them up there.
looks conglomeratic. It's got different, so again, a conglomerate's composed of different rocks. And it's got dark mafic being iron magnesium rocks in it, and then it's got pieces of, looks like almost like granite that's eroded out of it. Hard to say. I mean, if that came out of the brook and we pick up a lot of stuff and bring it home, yeah, it looks like a piece of granite type stuff, but it's shot through with other items, and including, you know, some iron bearing stuff that's coming out of it. So one of the things I like to look for, especially, I don't like to give locations, but
who does, right?
There's a spot not too far from Rutland, going over the mountain, and you know, you've got Cuttingsville, Vermont, you've got a Scutney. Those are some pretty special intrusive rocks, okay? And in some places they probably were eruptive. So we've got the roots of those rocks there. And they're also, they've got some pretty special minerals associated with them. They're nepheline, you know, the crust of the earth, and probably the most common element in minerals of quartz or silica. Those rocks are deficient. They don't have, the feldspars are not real, they're feldspathoids, okay? So they're called the rock types of nepheline cyanide. It's there, and there's all kinds of weird intrusive rock, you know, multiple intrusions that come up into that thing. And if you look at a Scutney, the Scutney's got a nice big round, you know, shape to it.
Yeah.
Same thing, Cuttingsville. You know, you look at like Hateful Hill, and you know,
right.
It's got a big round. But also associated with those are there's some what I call a plug. The plug is probably a volcanic vent that came up through all the rock that was there, and those vent areas have got some pretty interesting breccia rocks. And you know, as this stuff was shot up through,
Mount of Scutney.
You've got.
Does it even look like a volcano? Isn't that cool?
What do you got? Oh, that one. And the other thing is, if you go online and look at Google Earth, and just take this and go across the rest of New England, and off of the coast, Mass, Connecticut, someplace, I don't know, there's a track of high spots. It's under the water, okay? They're like a seamount that lines right up with this trend right across here, okay? Probably a hot spot in the upper mantle that where the plates went across it.
Okay.
And that shows that track there. So again, but getting back to this, I can be easily drawn off.
I can draw Jeff off sides, no problem.
If you don't get anything else out of this, you really need to pay attention to the rocks where you're finding gold, and even where you're not finding gold. So
it's important.
What's the source of the gold in Vermont? I mean, we you know, if you listen to me talk, a couple of big talks I did, is there lode gold? Is there gold in the bedrock? That's lode gold. Or is it just placer? And placer being it's just in the dirt.
In the dirt, right.
And who the hell knows where that came from? It could have come from Canada.
Yeah.
Okay? It could come from Orange County, where all the copper things are. It could be coming right out of the brook beside you, in the bedrock that's there, okay?
Yeah.
You know, where you're digging. So, shape of the gold's important. You know, you get coarse gold that looks like cauliflower. It hasn't gone very far. You get pounded to shit flat stuff. It probably traveled some.
Yep.
But when you start getting into your heavy mineral suite, what are the heavy minerals that are in there? Have you got magnetite? Probably. Have you got hematite? Have you got starlite, garnet? Okay. What else is in there with it? And are you seeing pieces of ultramafic rock? Are you, and again, White River, the spot that we did our trip there.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to, everybody will know what it is, hopefully, but one of the things that gets me there is there's pieces of the Bethel white granite sitting there.
Yeah.
What the hell is that doing? Okay, the White River runs north there. Okay?
Right.
Where the outcrops, bedrock outcrops of that particular rock type are,
Mm-hmm.
are what, 12 to 15 miles at least
Oh, yeah.
north of there. So,
Yeah. It's weird.
you know,
Glaciers did some movements,
so
huh?
again, you've got to come up and understand that something went on there. Maybe the White River didn't always run to the north there, which is a good bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun, guys. I mean,
So, got one last one. All right. This is from again. I did this professionally for 35 years or better, and been all over the place. This tell you how much I thought of this one. This was laying out beside my wood boiler in my wood pile, and I've been looking for this one for a while. So it went out and got dumped. When you look at that, it doesn't really look like it's a white rock on one side. There's the color thing. It's got some green on the opposite side, and that came from Russia. That came from Kazakhstan. The mineral, there's two minerals there. The greenish colored one is diopside. Okay, the white is wollastonite or wollastonite, and that is a calcium silicate, and it doesn't really show it that well because it's been sitting outside, but it's all little white needles. And
yeah, up close you can see it. I mean,
this mineral became a replacement for asbestos. Okay, so it's not, or hasn't been shown to be carcinogenic, obviously, like asbestos has, or the asbestos minerals have. What are your cars made out of today? Like the majority of the cars. They're high impact plastics, right?
Plastics, yeah.
Guess what goes into that? Those plastic resins are expensive. Filler minerals get used there. That's one of them right there.
Oh,
So
okay.
that gets put in as a strengthener or filler in the plastic resin and then formed in. So again, you've got all those overlapping.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys
Same
can see
thing
that.
with.
Try to get up here so you can see it.
I think they use it maybe in brake, might get put into brake linings and stuff. Again, the filament. So you look at that.
Look at these right here.
Back when we were
Solid
chasing
lines.
this was before the fall of the curtain. You know, we were over working for a Finnish company that was looking to put a mine in Kazakhstan to mine this stuff. One of the biggest producers in the world was over in Willsboro, New York, on the other side, just opposite of Burlington, south of Plattsburgh. Nico Minerals, and there's a couple of, it's in the Adirondacks, so they limit what they can do, but that's one of the bigger producers. And there's the other one is on the other side of the Adirondacks. The Valentine mine has, again, wollastonite. This was going to be a big one that the Soviets had. And we were over there doing the due diligence to see that stuff right there probably runs, at that point, might have been $400 or $500 a ton for that crush.
Wow.
So today, for the higher end, you might be talking $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a ton for that filler.
Wow.
So
amazing. Jeff, before
right.
we wrap it up here, What would you give the advice to brand new prospectors just buying the pans, even the pans? Tell them about the difference in shitty pans to good pans, and then what they should do just stepping out of the car to get busy.
First of all, you should know a few basic minerals if you're coming up to Vermont. You need to know obviously what garnet looks like. You're going to find that when you're panning stuff in your pan. You need to be you're probably going to find magnetite, those types of things. So, have some idea what you're going to be looking at when you get up here. If you're coming up from Connecticut, somewhere outside of Vermont, you're making the trip up to come and you decide you want to pan. I think probably one of my first recommendations was find a good group of prospectors to go out with. And there's a couple of us. I mean, we're small, the NAP group.
Northern Appalachian Prospecting. We have a Facebook page. Remember, this is the YouTube channel. We have a Facebook page where we have an actual club. Check us out.
So, Central Maine Prospectors has a Facebook page.
Yep.
They do get-togethers. I think they're on a monthly basis. They meet like on a Saturday. All get together and then they'll go. The Nutmeg group.
Good group.
Is good. And again, they've got the Facebook page.
Yep.
I would start somewhere there. Okay? Find somebody there within the group. And it's not always easy to get people's attention because, they're all excited. They're heading for the brook. So, and I know you and I have done it. We'd just as soon go and dig and have a good time, but I don't think we spend sometimes enough time with the new folks and get them out. I mean, we've done it a couple times.
Right.
But
right, and we're going to work on that this year. We're going to be having a meeting real soon.
You need to invest in a pan, okay? And I like one specific pan. Buy yourself a decent Pro Line pan. Spend the money. I don't know what they're up to now. They're probably over $20, I bet, for a pan somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably $22. Buy a Pro Line pan. Buy a Pro Line pan. Buy a Pro Line pan. If you're going to think about a second one, the Garrett Super Sluice one, again, don't buy these little rinky-dink, small pans. Don't buy a square one. Don't buy the gimmick crap pans, okay? No. And I'm going to probably take crap from somebody, selling them or whatever, but there are some knockoffs that look like the Pro Line. But go look at a Pro Line pan and buy one of them. You're going to need something to classify with. Okay, you're going to need a screen, one of the screens.
Mm-hmm. What size do you recommend for here starting out? Usually quarter?
I would go 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/2 inch, 3/8, 1/4 inch, somewhere in there.
Yeah, stay in that ballpark.
So, most of what you're going to find is going to be fine gold, especially when you start out.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff is like if you're looking at the 1/4 inch size and you go down, the top gold sizes that you're going to find, you're going to be lucky to find stuff that's, probably an 8 mesh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So, you're probably going to be looking at mostly 20 mesh size. So
yeah.
from the step down from 1/4 inch down to that 20 mesh, I mean, you're talking something that's 20, 30 times smaller at least.
Yeah.
So, going to need a decent shovel. Okay, you don't need to have anything special. They make them with the goofy sides on them.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you're younger, maybe a bigger shovel. Wayne likes the small shovel, long handles.
Yep.
And you're going to need 5-gallon pail, or a couple of them. Those will get you started. Now, Vermont, you're not supposed to be sluicing without a permit. Well, guess what?
We all do.
Probably shouldn't say it, but you know what? Until you get caught, you're probably going to do the same thing.
Yep.
So, what do you get for a sluice? If you can find one of the old traps, okay, it's a plastic sluice box, probably going to run you $100, but make sure it is the original trap design. Okay, when you look at the box, the riffles or the drops are going to have like a step in the drop.
Yep.
So there's two drops. There's a little drop with a little bit of a shelf, and then the main one into the box. Okay, and it's repeated. The box has a taper and a flare to it. Okay, and I'm not going to pick on the guy that's making them now, but he's changed the designs around. He's made a smaller one. Everybody likes smaller. Smaller's not always better. Just listen to me. Buy the original lip trap. Next, get yourself, if you don't want that, there are fluid bed traps. Okay, Green Mountain Gold Trap is one. There's a couple of others.
Bazooka, Grizzly, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's again that fluid bed. You can get online and do the thing. Again, I think there's a post on there right now. Some guy was asking about it. When you buy one, buy the one that has what feeds this thing. There are tubes up underneath it that feed the fluid tray area. I find that the small ones, again, this is guys want small because they can pack it in. Don't go small. Okay? Buy the mid-range one that has 3 tubes in it. Okay? You need to have 3 or 4. Some of the other manufacturers, some different. There's some that have 4 tubes feeding it. If you can find a 4-tube one, great. 3-tube will work. Okay? Fluid traps. I'm a fan of the Gold Hog stuff, and I don't know. I got online the other night. I was looking through. I don't see any new videos from him. I think he's still in business, but
yeah, he wants almost $400 for that same one that you got.
But you don't need to buy his sluice. I mean, it's nice.
No, it is.
It comes with the legs. It comes with the feeder box.
Yep.
It comes with 2 different mat profiles in the bottom of it. I like to build my own stuff. So, if you've got a metal fabricating place, sheet metal place, go see them. Have them fold you a box. Just have them fold a channel. And I think you don't need to be 10 or 12 inches wide. That's too wide. The optimum size probably is in the 7 to 8 inch wide range. Maybe not 8 or 9 inches in width. And bend up and just have a box made. You can go online, you can buy the flare. Like if you look on some of the Carolina Prospectors is one I like.
Yeah. Bill and Nancy, great people.
They're good people.
Yep.
Go look and see what you can find for you get on eBay. There were guys that were folding up the boxes and having a flare. So, buy yourself a 3-foot by
a little bar and pan brake,
9-inch channel with the flare on it, and then you can go get on the Gold Hog thing. Or again, I'm not a fan. I'm not convinced of the Dream Mat stuff. Okay. It catches gold. Some people swear by it. When you have your own sluice setup, you can pick and choose what the hell you want to put in it.
There you go.
If you want to put carpet in it and get a riffle tray, you can put it in it. If you want to run the old Vortex matting, you can pull that out and put it in it. You can put Gold Hog in it, and there's different. Again, I think the Razorback Gold Hog mat is for Vermont. It is the go-to for me. you know, when you get home, if you've got concentrates, you can pull that out. You put your little feeder head on it, and you can set it up for a cleanup sluice. And you can run all your shit through it, and you know, maybe you've got a different mat profile that's in there. So,
as I've talked about in my other videos, how I have different mats to go in, or I use different sluice boxes that I have set up. So, yeah, he's absolutely 100% right.
I mean, you can go down to Home Depot, and I did this last year. I go in there in the spring, and they've got these AstroTurf squares. They're 1 foot square,
yes.
like
yes.
the Astro. I'm like looking at it. I mean, I know.
Well, it's perfect. Mine are small.
I think again, there were probably, I don't know, maybe.
It's not the tight green stuff. They're longer,
so
more feely.
It's got like 10 to a pack, and they're 12 inches by. So again, what did I do? I bought a couple, cut them up, and one of the things you want to be able to do is use Gorilla Tape, and you can take a piece of that, maybe that first 12, first section of your box has got that in it. Then maybe you've got, I don't know, Vortex, and you can actually build your own mats by Gorilla Taping the pieces together. So again, if you go on Goldhog's site, at one point he had a video showing how to, put those in, put the side tapes in, all that stuff.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of, I carry it's a chicken feed scoop that I like, that I bring with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a Harbor Freight, or not, it's probably a Tractor Supply deal. It's like a metal scoop that I use it for, I'll get down in the brook, and I'm, cleaning out cracks or whatever, I use it there. When I'm cleaning out my sluice, I use that, dumping water in, that comes in handy. Like a sifter, like that you get in your kitchen. Okay, like a little colander sifter.
Yep.
You might want that. You're going to need some tools for crevicing. So again,
backpack. Don't forget a backpack.
Yeah, you're going to need a pack of some kind. I mean, again, I've got it's an Alice pack that I'm carrying. You don't need to buy everything at one time. I mean, you can go and start putting stuff together, kit together, and not spend $1 million. But come out to one of our events. I usually, when I go, the back of my truck is filled with stuff, because I know, maybe somebody wants to try the bazooka.
Right.
So you want to take it and try it. You get to see what it's like.
Right.
And you realize, hey, this is not an easy thing to get set up.
Not even close.
Or, Jesus, there isn't enough water today for this. Then go get the lid trap out. So I hand them a lid trap. I've got Angus McGurk's. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff. So you can, guys that have been doing it have enough of this stuff that if you show up, maybe we can help you out, show you the ropes and what you really need to buy.
That's what clubs are for. And so that's what we do. Now, I just want to show one last rock here. And this stuff right here on the table, all this goody stuff right here, this is pretty much what you're going to see in your pan. When you're getting down to where the rocks are, you'll start turning black on you, and then really black. The next thing you know, it's completely black. And that's called the black sands. But I was wondering, this came out of a gold-bearing area, and I just wanted Jeff to kind of go over what this is and what little minerals are in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat you up right now.
First of all, it's... Is it schisty? We like to use a carat. Obviously, there's a piece of pyrite. It's got a ton of iron in it. It's iron bearing, so it's probably got magnetite, hematite. It's some altered zone. Is it within a schist? This might be a bed within the schist.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when you see, one of the things that amazes me when you start getting up into central Vermont is the amount of garnet and the amount of magnetite that you get. Okay? And, as a general rule, and guys have been doing it and have found bigger gold, big garnet, big magnetite usually means big gold.
Right.
But it also means it's not easy to recover fine gold in those areas. Okay, because if you're running a fluid bed box and you don't have good water, you're going to need to be cleaning that thing out quite a bit, because that box is going to get loaded up.
Loaded up.
And the way that thing works is it has to have that box or that bed has to be fluid.
Right.
You know, a piece of gold comes in there. It's supposed to be the heaviest thing. Well, if that box is packed full of magnetite, all right, it may skip right across.
Right.
And it's the same thing with the sluice.
Yeah.
If you're only using, and I'll pick on the Prospector's Dream, those circular little vortex cells. Do they catch gold? Yep. But man, I've seen some pretty decent sized pieces find their way right down to the bottom of my sluice box. And that doesn't give me a high degree of comfort. I've used it, again, I've got a tray in my gold cube that I've used it in. Does it catch a lot of gold? Yeah, it's probably 85%. But I've seen some pretty good sized pieces of gold down on the next tray. Right. So, you know, you can get whatever to catch gold. Okay? I mean, one of the guys I used to call it is ghetto sluice. It looked like a frickin', he took the drip pan there, the eave off his house, and put, you know, shit in it.
Yeah.
He was using it catching gold.
Catching gold.
That's what he used the first year. So, in different places, like different things, different pieces of equipment, they like different mats. So, you know, you got to experiment a little bit.
Well, everybody, I think we all got an idea of rocks. Yep, it's time to call it a day. Thank you guys so much for coming and listening to us today. We'll probably have a few more, and then we're going to get out and we're going to be in the field this coming year. So we're going to be taking a look at some mines in different areas that we have pinpointed and looking at different drainages. Well, this is what you do in the wintertime. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like to learn geology, but I get it. So anyways, everybody, thanks a lot. Thanks for coming along and watching us. This has been a long one. I think my longest one I've ever done. So enjoy it. Everybody, peace out. Wow, that was a long one, wasn't it? But a lot of good information in there, guys. You've got to really pay attention to the people that know what they're doing and are doing this for a long, long time. I've been fortunate enough to work with the old boys way back in the 80s, which would have been the guys that were digging around in the, you know, the 40s, 50s. And these guys were finding freaking good gold. And I found good gold back then, too. But all them spots now are all private, and people don't want us on there. And we don't have the greatest reputation in the world when we don't fill in our holes. Or reclamate. Reclamate just means turning around and cleaning up your shit. Big deal, right? Alright. So the next one, like I said, is me putting together a crusher. A jaw crusher. Crunch, 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 crunch. To start crunching up some of this ore that came from the Pacific Northwest. Can't wait. Jason, over at Mount Baker Mining and Metals, he's out of the Cascades. And it's unbelievable what his mine has put out. It's crazy, and I enjoy watching. I've watched him for a couple of years now. He kind of reminds me of me a little bit, except I'm not into all that, putting all them chemicals together and making a button. I put it in an oven with some soda and then a little cocktail, and poof, I get a little button or something out of it. So lots of fun, guys. I guess we don't have to say Happy New Year anymore, so let's everybody get geared up. Check out your pans, check out your miner's mosh, wash it all out, get it all cleaned out, make sure there's no sticks caught in there. This is the time you do it. And if you want to play around with geology, this is how you watch this show. Because this isn't the end of me and Jeffery slade together. Things are going to heat up a little bit as we get into the spring. And we're going to get out and we're going to do quite a bit of prospecting together today and out in the field and doing a lot of filming as well. So thank you guys as well. The club, we're going to be working out that, but that's on the other channel over on Facebook. So, yep. Hey, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Keep subscribing. Give me thumbs up. That's all you can do. I'll keep putting the content out. Without you guys, I wouldn't be doing it. So, enjoy, everybody. Northern Appalachian Prospecting, out.